I'm Susanna Kennedy, and you are tuned into Thrive. We are speaking to Paul O'Mahony, and we're speaking about rethinking social media. Are you living the life that you want, or are you wanting more?
I want to show people that regardless of where they start from, and we show you how you go from using social media to finding the right type of people with a specific problem, and then where do you find the products that are the best-selling products today. And that's why I call it rethink. I don't want to force anything on anybody. It's rethink the situation you're in. Are you happy with your circumstances in life? And if not, how did it come about that this has happened?
Rethink Social Media is a course that Paul runs. It's a 4-day intensive course, guys, and it will take you through not only understanding all of these thought traps that we are in, literally actionable steps that I could go away and start implementing straight away. We are live. We are live on Facebook and we are live on Instagram. I'm Susanna Kennedy and you are tuned into Thrive. And today I'm very excited to have one of my good friends back. He hasn't been with us for a couple of months because he's been so busy. So I'm really excited to have him back. Paul O'Mahony, welcome back to Thrive. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. And thank you for having me back. Sorry it's been so long. It's been a crazy few months in a positive sense in many ways, which hopefully can give people some hope in the craziness that we're living in right now.
Well, that's actually, I was thinking about, I did a little video just to get people to come and listen, just give them a little introduction. And one of the things I remembered, and guys, for those of you that have just tuned in, we are speaking to Paul O'Mahony and we're speaking about rethinking social media. And one of the things that I remembered you saying when I did your 4-day intensive course, because I have done it for everybody that is watching now, is that you said that the majority of your students that were there and did well were predominantly women actually, but people going through a life change, somewhere in their lives where they've decided they need a career change, or whether they've gotten divorced or need to create a second stream of income. That was what you had told us. Now, I mean, the whole world is going through that, whether they've gotten divorced or not, they're going through that shift, that change. So your business must be booming actually at this point.
Well, it you know what, it is a divorce. It's a divorce of from your old life. And, like any divorce, it's all about, perspective, and you kind of don't want to let it go, and there's elements that you like, and there's the elements of the comfort of the certainty and knowing that something's going to be there every day, even though it's toxic ultimately. But that's what this is pointing out to most people, is that old reliance on a job or a business to pay you money on a consistent basis can just disappear with one single flu, and people can be financially ruined. And in many countries, the only reason they've been held together is from handouts from the governments right now, and they just keep extending them to keep to keep people happy and but there's going to be a time coming quite soon where that just has to stop. We can't just keep printing money and giving it to people who aren't adding value back to society. So fortunately, I mean, I've been sharing this message for over a decade and just pointing out to people, look, this can't last. Just look at what's going on around us.
Yeah.
But we're so busy, we don't have time to stop and pause, because as I've said this a million times, Susanna, but people tend to get some sense of comfort from this statement, which is, but Paul, everybody else is in the same boat too, but what if that boat happens to be the Titanic, and you're going deeper and deeper into debt, and the people around you are discussing the water and it coming up to your knees and coming up to your waist, and it's okay, we can still breathe for another while. Well, a few people are getting on safety jackets, getting onto a lifeboat and getting as far away as they can, while other people go, I wouldn't get near that lifeboat. Look, it looks a bit rickety. It looks like there's some holes in the bottom, while they don't actually see that their entire foundations are going under. And you just look around, you look at the people we know on a day-to-day basis, how many of them, if you could check their bank accounts, own more than they owe. right? It's less than 10% of people on the planet are actually not in debt. So the system that we're following is working fine for what it's meant to do, which is to get people into debt and keep them in debt for the rest of their lives. But if you're looking for something different, and that's why I call it rethink. I don't want to force anything on anybody. It's rethink the situation you're in. Are you happy with your circumstances in life? And if not, how did it come about that this has happened? Right? It's because in many cases you're a good soldier. You've done what you were told to do all the way through life. You've ticked all the boxes. I got the mortgage. I've got 2.3 children, whatever you're supposed to do, but you just stop and you think, how is this going to get any better, right? The kids are getting more expensive. I need to move neighborhoods because this house, we've outgrown it, and the car is already falling apart, and that means I'm going to get deeper into debt. But then you look around you and you see, oh, well, everyone else is in the same boat, so it's okay, and we continue to go back and relive rather than rethinking, okay, I need to start doing new things if I want to get new results in my life. And it's difficult, it's awkward to make that little divorce, but you can start with a temporary separation, right? A trial separation from your whole life, and let's see how you get on by putting yourself first.
Well, I love that you're putting it in that way, because I think that you're absolutely right. We're all going through a divorce, and divorces are messy and they're painful, and they bring very sudden, drastic change, and that is a scary thing. And I know that people are tuning in right now from all over the world. I see you guys there. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Omando. Hello, Sandy. If you guys let me know where in the world you're tuning in from in the comments below, I'd love to know. And also I'd love to know how much time you spend on social media, because I think that, what we're talking about now also leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about with Paul. The reality is, I remember you telling me that statistically, the United States, I think they made more money out of student debt. There was a scary stat there that you said, Paul, about the student debt there, and I think that that's a problem not only in the States but all over the world. And it was one of the things that I was really strict about. I didn't get a student loan because I knew the trap that student loans get you into. But don't you want to go over that? And I'd love to know from you guys online, did any of you get a student loan? Are you still paying it off? It's quite a scary business, the student loan situation that people get trapped in.
Yeah, thank you for making me the Grim Reaper at first thing in the morning. I don't blame me now. I'm only the messenger. But this is part of what I talked about there, just about rethinking. How do we end up in the situation that we're in, right? You did all the right things. You did what your parents told you to do. You were the proud child. You were the one that went to college. You were the one that your parents put the sacrifice in. They got you the loan. They got you the college loan. And then you graduated. So I have a few things to say about this. I went down this path myself. I'll come back to the facts of the matter, the scary facts in a bit. But I certainly went down that path. Both my parents were teachers. In Ireland, we were actually quite lucky in that education, third level education, was free, right? It was free, so you didn't have to pay for it. So,
that's amazing.
Okay, so you don't have the debt coming in. But at the end of the day, I then went into corporate world, worked in the job for 9 years, and I sat in a workshop, a 3-day workshop in Dublin in Ireland in 2009. And they were all American speakers, and they'd clearly not been to Ireland before because they were big into everything is awesome and high five and, massage the shoulders of your neighbors. And we're like, what the fuck? We don't touch our own family, let alone strangers. But so some people were like literally walking out. They just couldn't cope with this level of whatever you want to call it. But they like a lot of people do, they confuse the messenger with the message, and they once they didn't like the messenger, they didn't like the message. But one speaker was standing on the wings and looking closely at arms folded, people very resistant to the message. And he said, guys, you're smart people. I don't for a minute question that. But he said, the irony of all of this is you think we're here to brainwash you. He said, you guys are so brainwashed to believe a certain thing that he was about to share that you don't see the difference. He said, your belief system is that wealth is connected to qualifications. You believe that the letters after your name determine where you're going to end up in life from a wealth perspective. He said, I found as a high school dropout that a much more accurate measure of wealth, rather than letters after your name, as he put it, are numbers in your bank account. And I'll never forget when he said it, because it was one of those moments where somebody just literally almost pulled the rug from under you, where it's like, hang on a second, he's not just questioning little things about what I'm doing. He's questioning that the race I'm in the wrong race, and I'm running in the wrong direction. Like, it couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
And he was exactly right. He said, let's look at the professors in universities. How did they get to work? They cycle there. He said, I've got 2 Lamborghinis. He said, what happens when you get to the peak of education? You drop all of the letters and go back to where you started. You've no doctorate, you've no nothing, you just go back to your name. He said, well, I can save you hundreds of thousands and just stick with your name, right? And focus on mastering money and acquiring it and growing it and helping others with it, and how all of that works. And it truly was that moment for me that, oh my God, he's so right. Because he said, look, at age 30, you're still running out of money. At age 20, you're running out of money. At age 40, you're going to be running. He said, if you keep doing what you always did, you're going to continue to get what you always got. And then people nod their heads and say, yeah. And then someone else throws in a quotation, insanity, Einstein, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. People, yeah, I know that one. And literally at that second, they go straight back to doing what they always did. So we forget there's a massive difference between hearing things and acting on them, and, actually making them come to life. So the facts about the numbers are, the number one asset of the US government is outstanding student loan debt. It's $1.6 trillion. The average,
it's just insane. It's insane.
Yeah. If you think about how big a trillion is, like 1 trillion seconds is 33,000 years, just to give you a perspective of how big a trillion is. So you're talking, big numbers here. And the average cost per year in an average university there is $37,000. And it's 5 years, and you're doing all the right things, you're ticking all the right boxes. But think about it. If you're chatting to your nephew or niece, let's say, Susanna, and if you're not being present, let's say, when you ask the question, but you're kind of going with the flow, and you ask them what they want to be when they grow up. If they say, I want to be a singer, you're going to go, yeah, have you heard yourself? No, I don't think you really want to be a singer. You want to hear them saying, I want to be a doctor.
Irish perspective, Paul. Yeah, we're not going to encourage you to
we're very honest with them. What we want to hear is, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a police, I want to exchange time for money. That's what we want to hear as parents, because that's what we believe security is, a job, the permanent job, the working 9 to 5, whatever. And that's what's so difficult to shift in people. That's what we believe success is. But that, ironically, now is failure. That's the fast track to debt and to a lifetime of misery when it comes to money. And what's the number one cause for divorce? Seeing as we brought it up earlier, it happens in the 40s, and it's lack of money. It's fights over money. And then the same people will tell you money's not that important. Money's everything. It's only energy, but as long as you have that emotional resistance to it, it's a BS that lives very, very much and is alive in your life. And BS, of course, standing for belief system. It's something you've inherited from your parents and their parents. And if you believe money is difficult to come by, it is. Or if you've been told since you're a kid that rich people are only rich because they don't give their money to the poor. Or, you refer to scriptures in the Bible that a camel has a better chance of getting through the eye of a needle than a rich person into the kingdom of heaven. And all these belief systems that you've been brought up to believe. I remember the first time I heard that at Mass, going home to my granny's needle. She had this darn needle, which was a bit bigger than an average needle, trying to get this toy camel. I was like, what how is that setting you up in life? Like,
it's literally setting you up.
I don't want to make any money. Yeah.
It's literally setting you up for failure. I remember you telling that story. I remember that weekend, actually. I heard Paul talk for the first time. I think it was just over a year and a half ago now, actually.
Johnny, I have no concept of time anymore since coronavirus.
I know, I feel like everything's like kind of a smush. But I remember walking away going, oh my goodness, we're doing it all wrong. Like, not just... And I'm saying this, we, guys, I'm not saying you out there are alone. I'm saying we as a whole. I am still shifting in this, just so that you guys know. Like, I have to constantly catch myself from falling back into the patterns of doing things the way that I did before, and bringing myself back into the present and going, be conscious of what you're doing and how you're structuring things. But the fact that we do, bring up our kids to rely on a salary when we live in a world that you cannot rely on a salary is just insane. And that's why I love that you not only have Rethink Social Media, but you've also got Financial for Kids, which we'll speak about a little bit as well. But I just see that there are people coming through saying that over £80,000 in debt. Zara is saying that she has. She wants to learn how to do business properly. Well, Rethink Social Media is a course that Paul runs. It's a 4-day intensive course, guys. And it will take you through not only understanding all of these thought traps that we are in, because I think that's one of the biggest things actually, is when we identify the thought traps that we are in so that we can start stepping out of them. I think that that's one of the really important things that I got from your weekend. But I remember doing your 4-day weekend, and I literally had a notebook scribbled full of notes of like, okay, do this, then do that, then do that. There were literally actionable steps that I could go away and start implementing straight away. And I must say, there are not a lot of these weekend courses that you walk out with a full book. Like, I mean, a full book of
there's a lifetime of actions in there, really. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I see more people saying, Jen says it's a psychological war the system plays on people wanting to be a part of the class distinction. Subliminal messaging, putting in fear, their lives not mattering if they don't own a car, house, etc. University degrees actually mean nothing these days. Teach your children practical skills, entrepreneurial skills. Of course, it's different if someone has a real calling to study to being a doctor. You know, the thing is, Jen, you know, I believe you should follow your calling. So if your calling is to be a doctor, go be a doctor. But I think that's why what Paul is teaching is so important, is that you don't only need to be a doctor. You can create a second stream of income or a third stream of income. Am I right, Paul? This is not just for people who want to just do online. It's for...
Yeah, of course. But the thing is, how many doctors became doctors because they wanted to be doctors? Or how many people became doctors because their parents said, you are going to be the doctor? You know, so there's a big difference in terms of how you come around the reality of it. And let's just stick with that example as a doctor, right? You think about ER, you think, yeah, fantastic. I could do George Clooney. That suits that. I like that idea of like, then you become a doctor. You got to work in Ireland, at least. It's an 80-hour-a-week job, 80 hours unpaid for many years to begin with, or minimal pay. It's not what people think it is. You know, it becomes the opposite of you want to care for people and you actually end up hating people because it's just, you're driven, demented, because you're meant to have all these trimmings of success and house and car, and you don't get to spend any time in there. And you're, you know, the third biggest cause of death in the world is mistakes made by professionals in hospitals, you know, because they're so stressed in how much pressure they're under. Exhausted, of course. But I totally agree that people have a calling, right? But you might have a calling to be a poet. You might have a calling to be an artist. But do you want to be broke? Or do you want to be, you know, because you are paid directly in proportion to the value you provide to others. So if you can find a sweet spot between what you love to do or even like to do a lot and what adds value to others, then you're setting yourself up for a much more relaxed and successful life, successful in inverted commas. But if you're following now I'm swinging the other direction, right? So we say, right, kids got to go get a job. But if you go the other direction of just follow your passion, just, you know, your vacation should be your vocation. Just do what you love, and you love every day you live, right? That there needs to be an asterisk beside that. It's like, well, there's a few clauses here in terms and conditions apply, you know, because it kind of depends on what you're passionate about, right? If you're passionate about golf and you're shooting 3-4 under every single time you play golf course, good for you. You could probably be a professional and make a living from it, you know. But if you're passionate about, like I said earlier, your art, but nobody else is, right? And you're thinking, oh, it's just people just don't, you know, we constantly put our judgments on others. And a couple of your listeners there, which I find interesting, it's so common. It's, you know, it's easy to blame the media. It's them. it's the scarcity, it's the look, or you need to teach your kids about money. Focus on yourself and your own family. Turn off the noise. You don't that scares the scaring, that's scaremongering, etc. You can stop that by just turning off the radio and turning off the TV, and just focusing on the now and this exact moment, and what is that we can do as a family to start a journey where we feel confident that when we take this journey and we take the steps in this direction, that it's going to bring us where we want to go. Because the path that we're on by default is actually bringing us to the exact opposite place where we think it's going. But if you look at anybody that's finished out that journey and you read the memoirs of people that, on their deathbed, what are the regrets that they have? It's never, I wish I worked more. Oh God, I wish I worked more hours in the week so I could just, it's always, I wish I traveled more. I wish I loved more. I wish I stopped worrying so much about what other people think. I wish I, pursued the things that I would have enjoyed more. But if you can get money fixed and you don't necessarily tie your money and your hobby together, but you figure out, right, I can add value to people and I can enjoy. I don't even like social media. I live this truly, as in, I don't even like the thing that I'm known for talking about, because I don't like the social media that we all think about, which is going online, taking selfies, taking pictures of your dinner, your kids, posting it up to everybody, look at my great life. No, I love the part where you can get in front of people and give them what they want, and you can monetize all of this. So there's a broad spectrum of what we believe to be true versus what the actual reality is. And it takes a bit of like onion peeling. You need to come back layer by layer. People say, I hate sales. I could never do that. I hate sales. Well, everything you've ever done in life has come to you based on your ability of selling. From your kids cleaning their rooms, from how well you deal with your parents, the relationship you have with your partner. If you're crap at sales, you're crap in relationships. If you're good at sales, your relationships tend to be an awful lot more easy to live within, because you realize it's about a win-win. It's not about one person being right and one person being wrong. So again, if you're listening,
I like that you said that, because I think, guys, it's just gone 11 o'clock. Paul, do you know what happens at 11 o'clock a.m. on the Thrive Network? No. I howl 3 times as loud as I can. And then I say, thank you, more, please. And this is just to raise the vibration of happiness, because when we howl, we feel happy, guys. And then to say, thank you, more, please. Thank you to each and every person that is doing something in this world to contribute in a positive way to my life and to anybody's lives around here. And so, Paul, you're going to howl with me, and I know you can do it, because you've got that crazy cat in you. I've seen it before. So on 3, we're going to howl. Are you ready?
Is it a dog howl or a cat howl?
No, it's like a wolf howl.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, more, please. Yours is actually a good howl. So we do that every day at 11 o'clock, just to like get people feeling happy in their bones, in their actual bodies. There's a few things, but one of the things that also struck me while I was doing your course is so many people, like you were talking about artists and this sort of thing, they're calling and they think, oh my gosh, I didn't get paid for my art, so I'm a failure. But the reality is, if you are an artist, you're doing that art because it fulfills something within you. If you have financial security so that you can be expressing yourself in that way, you've won. Actually, it doesn't matter what anybody else around the world is thinking or saying. You're getting to express yourself, and that is your art form, and you've got financial security. You've won.
Yep.
I know a lot of people here are giving us messages about being doctors. Kundai is on. He's also one of our Thrive Network people specialists, and he says one of his best friends is a qualified doctor. And then he got there, went through a massive depression and walked away, and is now a tech entrepreneur. So it really is about creating the life you want. And I think that Corona, for me, Paul, has been one of those great things that has really stopped people in their tracks and gone, is this really the life you want? are you actually living the life you want? So I'd love to know from everybody that's listening, because I see we've got lots of people now commenting, and I'm sorry I can't get through all of your comments. I will look through them afterwards, but I'd love to know, are you living the life that you want, or are you wanting more? So just say not yet in the comments below, or on my way. I'd love to know where you guys are at. Paul has very generously donated one prize of his full 4-day course. And I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about that, but you can win that in my birthday bash competition, which is currently running, which basically by empowering others, you empower yourself. So 50 Rand enters you into the competition. It feeds 6 people, and it enters you into the competition that has, do you know that we've got close on 100,000 Rands worth of prizes now up for grabs, which is just amazing. I'm so overwhelmed by the generosity of people. And Paul came on board and he donated a weekend. Tell us about it. Tell us what it is valued at and what people can expect.
Sure, yeah. So the program is something I've been running for, almost a decade now in various forms, but it starts out by assuming you don't know anything about the internet. It starts kind of from that perspective, but you are interested in figuring out how do you make a full-time income from it with part-time work, but also with the premise that you may not be like Susanna or like myself, or you're okay with being in front of the camera, or that you're comfortable with your own name being out there. In fact, you might be very interested in the opposite. You want to be hidden in the background where nobody ever knows it's you. And that's quite common. You know, a lot of people don't want to be, at least to start off with, they want to be kind of hidden in the background. And I want to show people that regardless of where they start from, just like in my own case, you can set up a successful business on the internet where you don't need any of your own products, or you don't need any of your own services. You actually can become a matchmaker where you can introduce the best-selling products that exist right now to the people that are looking for them, which are pretty much everybody. They're looking to solve their problems. And this isn't something I've come up with. This is something that the most successful companies in the world do. When you see the likes of Uber and Lyft, the 2 largest taxi companies in the world, they don't own any cars. And Hertz Car Rental has gone bankrupt in the last month. It just points out so perfectly the old model versus the new. You've got hotels.com, booking.com, Airbnb, you know, some of the world's largest accommodation providers. They don't own any real estate. You know, you've got Amazon.com doesn't write any books. eBay doesn't create any products. So it's showing you how you can leverage that, and that you don't need to be the core and central lever that everything depends on. Creating a product, providing a service, doing the accounting, the bookkeeping, and doing all of that stuff can disappear by just focusing on how do I solve people's problems for them with the best-selling products in a particular area. And we show you how you go from using social media to finding the right type of people with a specific problem. We even pick the area for you to get into. And then where do you find the products that are the best-selling products today that you don't need to buy or order or put into a warehouse? You can just, they're literally dealt with directly with the person who owns those products or services. And over 2 months period, even longer, I suppose 2 to 3 months, we have a digital training program that's all drip fed to you, that shows you step by step how to do all of this, assuming you know nothing. We have a year's help center support answering any questions that you might have. But we also have a 4-day online workshop for our South African audience specifically, primarily really in that time zone, coming up in September. Let me find the exact dates for you.
While Paul looks for those exact dates, I see that we've got not yet on my way. I love the howl. Thank you very much. Waving hearts, almost there, not yet. Want to get there. Okay, so that's great, guys. So this 4-day course doesn't matter where you are on your road to getting there, whether you are close to getting there and you just need that extra last bit of support to increase your reach and your knowledge and the way in which you are creating your business, or whether you know nothing and you're just setting up, this course is amazing because it'll just give you this broad perspective and then give you actual actionable steps that you can start taking straight away. So I know that it's running, you said September, October
16th to 19th.
Okay, September 16th to 19th. And it's worth, I think it's just under 10,000 Rand, isn't it, Paul?
Well, the price point to buy it at discount is 10,000 Rand. The value is of where we sell it around the rest of the world is over 200,000 Rand.
Yeah, and I remember you doing the special price for South Africans specifically. You know, because I saw the introductory talk when you were selling it at 200,000 Rand. And I was like, oh my God, I need this. How the hell am I going to do 200,000 Rand? And Paul was amazing, guys. I must just give you a shout out here, Paul, because you came here and you loved South Africa and you loved South Africans and you saw the need and you saw the opportunity to empower people. And he came in at a price point that was affordable for people. And I took my hat off to you in so many ways. I know I told you in person, but like so many times when I think about it, Paul, I just think it's absolutely amazing. And do you want to hear more good news, guys? You can enter my birthday bash competition because I want everybody to win and be pampered and empowered. So you can enter my birthday bash competition and you can win one of these weekends worth 10,000 Rand. But what Paul is also doing is once you've entered, if you can't wait to possibly win, he is giving Thrive members an extra 20% discount. So that is just incredible. Paul, you are amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing. And I think that everybody needs to take advantage of it. If you're on Facebook, I will put the link up for you guys so that you can do it. If you're on Instagram, jump into my bio right now and sign up. The link is in my bio, so do that. And Paul, thank you. I mean, thank you.
Well, Susanna, I think they should thank you. I think they should thank you really because you told me I was giving them 20% off. There was no real negotiation. So you're giving everyone a try turns out, okay, thanks. So I'm not the angel here. It's Susanna. Let's be clear. She's batting for you big time.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul. Oh no, I'm so humbled by your generosity and all of the Thrive Network's generosity. And I'm so excited.
I'm going to be on a webinar tomorrow, I think, to the South African audience, and they'll see it's 20% more. So this is like legit that you're getting 20% off on the heavily discounted offer already. So yeah. If it's a good fit, I'd be delighted to have you on. I mean, we did it in what was the name of that place we were in Johannesburg?
We were we were at the Palazzo Hotel in Fourways, was it?
Yeah, it's like Las Vegas, the South African Las Vegas. But you have a name of it.
Monte Casino.
Yeah, Monte Casino, that's it. But 450 people had their lives completely changed those days that were there. It was just incredible. It was just, off the charts in terms of the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm. But we just can't wait for things to open up, externally, for you to open up internally. And that's why we really want to make this happen virtually and keep it going. We've been running these last couple of months, and ironically, the feedback's even better because people get more personal engagement in that they can ask me questions directly because they're not trying to shout over another 400 people. They can put their comments in and they can get seen and get answered. And I'm delivering the whole thing myself. So I think they'll love it. It's good as a graduate you can kind of comfortably talk about it, Susanna, because you know what's ahead for them. It is life-changing.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely life-changing. It's helped me so much in so many different ways. And we did say that if people would like a 1-hour kind of masterclass just to get stuck into it, we would be possibly doing a webinar. Did we say next week, Paul?
What did you say?
I'm trying to remember. I think we said that we would do it, or was it the first week of September?
Yeah, it was. It was in September. I'm on vacation.
It was the first week of September. Okay, so I'll pop those dates in because I don't think we confirmed the dates quite yet, but I'll pop those dates in and I'll let you guys all know. And Paul will give you some actionable steps that you can start straight away. But I highly recommend you take advantage of this amazing offer of 20% off, because it really is a special offer for nobody else in the entire world, just for Thrive members. So please do take advantage of it. I see, wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Paul, thank you so much. And if you guys found this useful, please tag your friends below in the comments below, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching a recording of it. Please tag your friends in the comments below, and please share this post with as many people as possible. The Thrive Network was literally created to empower as many people as possible, to help you guys live your best lives. We only get one chance in this body, in this consciousness that we know of. And so we might as well make it extraordinary. So please help as many lives as possible be extraordinary, and start with yourself. Paul, much love, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Sana.